Hi, my name is Sahana, and for my project, I built a Chinampa. Before I get into how it was made or how I made it or how it was used, we have to understand what a Chinampa really is. So, what is a Chinampa? In simplified terms, it is a floating garden. The Aztecs lived in current-day Mexico, more specifically on an island on Lake Texcoco. So basically, they lived in the middle of a lake. Because of this abundance of water, agriculture flourished, except there wasn't really enough land to farm. That is where the chinampa comes in. Chinampas were made in a multi-step process. The Aztecs began by creating large reed mats, which floated in the shallow water of their lake. They attached the edges of the mats to posts anchored in the lake. Now they began building up from the mats. They put soil from the lake bottom, rotting vegetation, and dirt from nearby areas onto it. They continuously applied these materials until the soil was above the surface of the lake. You probably also see some trees on the edge of the chinampa. These were fast growing and helped attach the chinampa to the bottom of the lake by the tree's roots, so they were even more stabilized. So now that we know how the Aztecs built their chinampas, how did I build my chinampa?
Now, unlike the Aztecs, I didn't use as natural materials to build my chinampa. However, for the soil, I did use soil from my backyard. Underneath that were reed mats. The reed mats I made were with green paper, and I used that same green paper for the vegetation. However, I also put some weeds on top of that to represent the plants that the Aztecs grew, such as maize, squash, and beans. Surrounding the chinampa were posts. These posts I made out of cardboard pieces, which I cut slits into to represent each different log that the posts were made out of. I used this same cardboard to make the trees that were placed equidistantly along the chinampa. Finally, for the water, I painted the cardboard box that held everything together blue. The Aztecs traveled from one chinampa to the next using canoes. They went around planting new crops, but watering was unnecessary considering how the chinampas were on a lake. The Aztecs were also able to catch animals around their gardens, such as fish, frogs, turtles, and other waterfowl. Perhaps you saw some of my ducks that I placed around my chinampa.
Overall, this system was very important to the Aztecs because it was one of their main farming methods. Food was essential to life, and this invention undoubtedly showed how the Aztecs adapted their home. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something new about Aztec chinampas.